A series like Naruto can't go on for as long as it did without some seriously brilliant moments. Years after its finale, there are just some scenes that are just jaw-dropping. Whether it is because the twist was so unexpected, in a good way, or the writing just paid off beautifully, the Naruto franchise has some seriously amazing moments. Now, I'm not just talking about cool action scenes, though there are plenty of those. I'm talking about moments in Naruto that were just shy of genius. This can include moments of great character development, drama, and even comedy. We'll be looking at a range of moments in Naruto that just make you go, whoa. Let's get started. Let's start with perhaps one of the most gut-wrenching twists in all of Naruto. Sasuke Uchiha's mission in life was to get revenge on his brother, Itachi, for murdering his entire clan. It was a senseless act that led Sasuke down the path of darkness, all in the name of revenge. However, like most things in life, the Uchiha incident is not a one-sided massacre, but a more complicated political conspiracy. Tobi revealed to Sasuke that the Uchiha clan were planning a coup after years of persecution from the Leaf Village. In a shocking revelation, Tobi reveals to Sasuke that he and Itachi slaughtered the Uchiha clan to avoid another shinobi war. Throughout the original series, we've only known Itachi from Sasuke's perspective, and we were led to believe he was just some lone wolf killer with no remorse. After this moment, we know that was a lie. From the moment Naruto and Sasuke first met on screen, they were bitter rivals, even though it was clear that Sasuke was the superior shinobi. Even when they were put on a team with Sakura, they never stopped trying to compete with one another. That all changed during the Chunin exams, arguably the best arc in Naruto. During the Forest of Death segment of the test, Team 7 faced off against many foes, the deadliest of which was a disguised Orochimaru. Orochimaru toyed with the three young shinobi for a bit. His real objective was to infect Sasuke with the curse mark. Before he could have too much fun, however, Naruto managed to stop Orochi's giant snake with the power of the nine-tailed fox. It was a pivotal moment for Naruto because up until this point, Sasuke never took Naruto seriously. It was a moment of humility for Sasuke to see Naruto not only saving him, but showing him up in the process. Pain was a lot, let's be honest. As one of the founding members of the Akatsuki, Pain is the baddest of the bad. I mean, all he feels is pain, yeah? Right, moving on. The events leading up to the fight with Pain and the battle itself were brutal in their own right, but one event perfectly embodies this character's power. Just on his own, Pain manages to level the entire Leaf Village with the almighty push. We've seen anime antagonists show off their power, but Naruto's villains are not planet-destroying demigods. Not since the nine-tailed beasts roamed free across the land have we seen a power that could level an entire village. It set up two things, that Pain is a powerful and a cruel villain. Nothing ramps up the drama quite like a dramatic reveal. A long-lost friend resurfaces after all these years. Well, that is what happened with Kakashi's friend Obito. After all this time fighting the Akatsuki and dealing with Tobi, it was revealed that he was actually Obito Uchiha. Cue the dramatic soap opera music. Suddenly, a lot of aspects about the character clicked. Where did he get his Sharingan if he wasn't an Uchiha? Obito gave it to him as a dying wish. It turns out Madara didn't help Itachi kill the Uchiha clan, so who was it? Obito. Who started the Fourth Shinobi War? Obito. Why? Well, it's kind of a long story, but having that reveal set a lot of things in motion for this final arc. At least we don't have to worry about any evil twin brothers. Part of Naruto's tragic past is that he never knew his parents. They died during the attack of the nine-tailed fox. In the original show, we are told the fourth Hokage sacrificed himself and put the spirit of the beast within a child, Naruto. Viewers can kind of infer that the fourth Hokage was Naruto's father, though it was never confirmed at the time, and no one in the village made any mention of it. So when Naruto has an opportunity to meet his father, well, it's a moment that can only be described as heartwarming. He exists in Naruto's mind. Minato appears as part of the sealing jutsu he used to keep the nine-tailed fox at bay. It may all be in his head, but it's still a tender moment between father and son. We have an understanding of what the Nine Tails power is. Even with Minato's sealing jutsu, the fox's chakra can seep out, and Naruto can utilize it for his own purposes. What happens when too much of it seeps out though? Well, we get the Nine-Tail Cloak. We have seen weaker versions of the Nine Tails come out when Naruto's in dire straits. We first saw it when Naruto punched Haku's lights out during their first mission. It's made other appearances, and the more tails the cloak grows, the closer Naruto gets to losing control. So when Naruto eventually attains his ultimate form, we are kind of cheating because this takes place in The Last Naruto the Movie, a confusing title for sure. He attains a new mode, Asura Kurama form, which allows him to fuse with his previous forms. The fights in Naruto range in quality, but are often reduced to one guy punching another guy really hard. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a good punch fest, but there needs to be some variety, you know? Luckily, there are shinobi like Shikamaru. Nobody really expects much from him. Heck, he doesn't really want to do much either. On the surface, Shikamaru is unmotivated and an all-around slacker. During the Chunin exams finals, however, the world got to see what he is capable of. In his fight with Temari, the difference in raw strength was clear. Temari had the upper hand in fighting experience and was a smart tactician in her own right. The fight may appear boring to the uninitiated, but Shikamaru outplays Temari with his patented Shadow Possession Jutsu. It's a powerful jutsu, but it had a lot of limitations. To anyone else, this might seem like an underwhelming move, but this fight shows what kind of power it possesses when the right shinobi wields it. Naruto and Sasuke's rivalry is known to us, the viewers. Their rivalry represents a clash of their own personal struggles and ideals. One could even say that their struggle is entirely contained to just them. No one else really sees the importance of their fight. That's what makes Naruto's fight with Neji so amazing. It's a division everyone can see. It's no longer just the outcast taking on his personal rival, but the village pariah taking on what is essentially the villager's star child. Neji was seen as a prodigy, a boy genius, and the best the Leaf had to offer. Even though Naruto has developed into his own character, to everyone else outside of Team 7, he is still just a loser. The ensuing fight shows not only Neji, but everyone else just how far Naruto has come, and it blows away all expectations. Just like with Shikamaru, nobody really thinks about Choji. It's not for a good reason though. Unlike Shikamaru, Choji seems like a pretty underwhelming character. He's relegated to a portly comic relief character whenever he is on screen. Honestly, it was a shock to see him be part of the Sasuke retrieval team. When it came to his fight with Jirobo though, it seemed like Choji was going to lose from the beginning. His idea to face this guy so the others can go ahead seemed to be a needless sacrifice. But Shikamaru knew something no one else did, and that was Choji's real power and his determination to do right by his friends. It's an example of how even a minor character can surprise the audience. This lackadaisical comedic character pulls out a win in spectacular fashion. Choji was the GOAT all along. Even though Naruto is for all ages, death is an inevitable event in a ninja's line of work. There were less deaths generally in the original show. In Shippuden, however, deaths were much more common. During the early arcs, the Akatsuki were the main antagonists. One of their members, Hidan, took on Asuma Sensei, the leader of Team 10, Shikamaru's team. His death was tragic and dramatic, but then we saw something we rarely see in these kinds of shows: mourning. Later, Shikamaru is with his father. The two are playing shogi when Asuma's name comes up in conversation. All seems calm at first until Shikamaru erupts in a display of mourning and anger at the loss of his sensei. What makes it stand out is how personal it is and how normal it seems. There is no dramatic music or over-the-top speeches, just a pupil sad at the loss of a teacher. A good series does its best to establish just what their main character can do early on. The first episode of the original Naruto does this with flying colors. During the course of the first episode, we are shown a few things. Firstly, Naruto is an outcast in the village. He is a clown, a troublemaker, and not taken very seriously at all. In an effort to get somewhere in life, he steals a sacred scroll, which, if I'm being honest, wasn't so sacred if it could be stolen by a child, where he learns the Shadow Clone Jutsu. This move would define Naruto's character for the rest of the series, and he uses it to overwhelm a Jonin-level ninja who attacked his father figure, Iruka Sensei. It might just be the first episode of the show, but what a way to kick off this franchise. All at once, viewers are entertained and wanting more, which is something a first episode should do. Having a rival is one thing, but sometimes the claws have to retract and you have to work together. Despite being on a team, Naruto and Sasuke do nothing but try to one-up one another, even at the detriment of the unit. Their first mission as a team started less than great when Zabuza managed to capture Kakashi in a water prison jutsu. In that moment, everything clicked. In a genius display of teamwork, Naruto and Sasuke worked together to outsmart and outplay Zabuza to free Kakashi. They did it without communicating ahead of time and just did it. They acted in tandem and demonstrated their ability to work fast under pressure. It's too bad this moment is undercut later on in the arc when they are trapped in Haku's mirror jutsu. Hey, it was good while it lasted. You know we had to talk about this one. Not a moment goes by that Naruto fans are reminded of the sheer awesomeness of Rock Lee versus Gaara. There have been dozens of breakdowns of this fight, and it's been talked about decades after the fight first aired. But why? What makes this fight between Rock Lee and Gaara so good? I mean, Rock Lee has lost nearly every major fight he has been in. After this defeat, he was relegated to a background character. Perhaps it is a two-part answer. Fans wanted so much more from Rock Lee, and after getting a taste of what this guy was capable of, felt saddened when he wouldn't really top this. Additionally, it could also be an amazing deconstruction of the underdog story. Rock Lee is an amazing taijutsu fighter, but can't use any other jutsus. That is still a limitation against somebody with what was once thought to be an unstoppable jutsu. After a clash like that, you wouldn't expect there to be a follow-up. After crippling Rock Lee, you would think Gaara is the last person he would want saving him. But hey, beggars can't be choosers. Kimimaro was one tough opponent. In the fight to get Sasuke back, he fought with Naruto before Rock Lee entered the fray. Then, when Rock Lee was getting beat, Gaara came in to save him. Even after all that, Gaara barely manages to win when Kimimaro's own illness ends up taking him out. Still, to have Gaara and Rock Lee meet again, this time as allies, is a bold move, especially since it appeared neither of them felt any kind of hostility towards the other. Sure, Gaara intended to kill Rock Lee, but he was in a darker place. That was the old Gaara after all. It was inevitable. These two were going to fight like famous rivals before them. Like Vegeta and Goku, Naruto and Sasuke's differences were never going to be settled amicably. At the end of Naruto's mission to rescue Sasuke, his worst fears were realized. Sasuke was really intending to leave all of his friends and even his village behind to pursue his revenge against Itachi. This technically would be the second time they fought. Naruto and Sasuke had a small scuffle in the Leaf Village shortly before he left the village completely. What follows is one of the best fights in all of Naruto. The animators pulled out all the stops for this one, and the clash between Naruto's Rasengan and Sasuke's Chidori still sends chills down my spine. I'll end this with a hot take. This fight is much, much better than the final one towards the end of the series. It's more impactful, there's more at stake, and frankly, just has a better wow factor. While Asuma's death was tragic, he is ultimately a secondary character, and his death can be, well, expected. When a main character dies, though, oof, you feel that. What makes Jiraiya's death so tragic yet kind of brilliant is that he was on a one-man mission to figure out Pain's plan. It was dangerous, and any sane shinobi would have brought backup, even for a recon mission. And no, Elder Toads don't really count as backup. What was perhaps the most upsetting part was that Naruto had to hear about this rather than witness it or even attempt to help. He was a mentor and surrogate father to Naruto. Well, next to Iroha-sensei, but it's still meaningful. Oddly enough, it was his sacrifice that would help Naruto defeat Pain in the end. To say a lot has happened in this franchise is an understatement. Other teams might break up only to reunite later after their time-skip training montage. Team 7, Naruto and Sakura? Their situation is different. Sasuke leaving left a special kind of pain within their hearts. Sasuke would go from trusted friend to enemy to enigma all over the span of Shippuden. Yet, when the Fourth Shinobi War started in earnest, Naruto got the band back together. When Madara and the Ten-Tailed Beast had the rest of them pinned and outmatched, it was time to call in the OGs. Sakura, Naruto, and Sasuke reunited to take on the Ten-Tailed Beast. It was the first time all three of them had been together and on the same side since they parted ways at the end of the original show. What better way to start a final battle? When is the best time to confess your love to someone? There are really no wrong answers, but I'd say just after a fight and close to death is a bad time. During his fight with Pain, Naruto found himself pinned down. Literally. With no one else in his corner, Hinata attacked Pain to defend Naruto. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a callback. Naruto defended Hinata before, when they were kids and during the Chunin exams. Now she's going to do the same in a declaration of love. While she may not have done much damage to Pain, getting her bell rung sure angered Naruto enough to get himself free and unleash the beast inside. Don't mess with the main character's love interest, man. That's like rule number 1. Out of all the characters we have lost over the course of this franchise, none are really as biting as losing Neji. Was it because he died unceremoniously? Was it because he never got to see his village reformed? Perhaps what hurts the most is that he will never see the Hyuga clan change the way Naruto promised. In reality, it was so upsetting because even though Neji respects Naruto, he was still a calculated and logical person. To give his life for another, to protect those he cared about, was something he never fully understood until he did it himself. Before he passes, Neji finally understood what his father meant when he chose to die for his friends. I only wish he could have lived long enough to really learn that lesson. When Naruto learned the Shadow Clone Jutsu, it was a huge step up for him. Heck, it was his first jutsu. Well, actually his second if you count the sexy harem jutsu. More to the point, when it came time for Naruto to learn a new skill, it was more than a little difficult. Jiraiya took Naruto under his wing to help him hunt down Lady Tsunade, who would later become the Leaf Village Hokage. During this trip, Jiraiya gave Naruto a few tests to perform the Rasengan. He graduates to tougher and tougher exercises throughout the journey. However, he still lacked the skill needed to master the technique. When the duo found Tsunade, trouble soon followed, and Orochimaru intended to kill her and Jiraiya. It was a tough battle in and of itself, but the clutch moment was when he needed it most. Naruto was able to pull off the Rasengan to protect Tsunade, earning her respect and growing as a ninja. And those are just some of the many moments in Naruto that go above and beyond. It's been years since I've sat down and watched Naruto, but man, I still remember when Rock Lee took off his weights. That moment lives in my head rent-free.